Good morning, guys. Gotta make a quick disclaimer for those of you who've clicked on this wondering what the hell I am up to. This is all going to be a lot of sarcasm and humor and that sort of thing, but nevertheless, I feel that this is an issue that should be addressed because, frankly, there are people out there who are making a pretty damn good living by clickbaiting SpaceX fans, and we're gonna find out exactly how you can do that right now. Oh yeah, and one thing that I forgot, apparently some of you have gotten a little bit annoyed every time that I say, please subscribe. And so I can certainly understand that. It can be a bit annoying. One guy got extremely irritated, though, the last time that I said, please subscribe. He said that he was dead serious about this and even suggested that bodily harm might be involved if I ever said, please subscribe. So that being the case, I've decided I'm just going to put an end to that right now. Please subscribe. All right, I know, I promise no more of that. I will not say that one more time. Please subscribe. Okay, maybe 3 or 4 more times, but no, that's the end of it. But let's please try to get to 100K. Please. Okay, I bet a lot of you have guessed that I just don't like it when people threaten me, but let's go ahead and move on. So yeah, there is, if you want to look for very, very inflammatory and exciting titles that involve Elon Musk, that's only a few taps away. Super easy to find, and I have found my favorite Elon Musk clickbait site. These guys are second to none. I mean, they've got thumbnails like this, and thumbnails like this, and thumbnails like this, and they all involve the same kind of theme. It happened, and it doesn't really matter if it happened or not. He wants to convey the notion that something just happened with SpaceX and Elon Musk, and you missed it, which means you better click on this video right now, or you're gonna be left in the dust, baby. And it only recently occurred to me a week or so ago, or maybe it was 2 weeks, something like that, just how easy this shit is to do, because I was going to do a live stream and I was minutes away from going live, didn't have a thumbnail for what I was about to do, desperately searching, and it was about the possible demise of the private space industry and that even SpaceX was vulnerable. And so I was like, well, what could symbolize the demise of the space industry? An exploding rocket. So I pulled up a picture of Falcon 9 blowing up on the pad in 2016 and put that up as my thumbnail. And then in the title, I just simply said the private space industry could be in trouble or something like that, even SpaceX. Didn't say anything about a rocket exploding, but it didn't matter. People tuned in the thousands in the space of just a few minutes because they saw an exploding rocket. Naturally, lots of them got really pissed off, accused me of clickbaiting, etc., and I kind of had an avalanche of unsubs, about 30, 40 people unsubbed in the space of 30 minutes or so, and I was like, and only then did I realize what was happening. I'm like, oh my god, and so I swapped out the thumbnail immediately. But then I thought for a moment, just recently, I'm like, why the hell did I do that? Because for every person that was, unsubbing, I was getting 100 views or more, sometimes 1,000 views for every person who was, signing off as a subscriber. And I don't get paid on subscribers, I get paid on views. And that's what these guys do every day of the week. So let's have a look at an example of one of these videos, and this is called It Happened. Elon Musk finally reveals new warp drive Starship 2022, and that is, I'll tell you, that has delivered huge results for this channel, which is called Future Unity, by the way. This video just recently clocked a milli. It's only been up for about 10 months or so, so 1 million views right off the bat, which is about 60% more than my entire channel gets in an entire month. So yeah, this guy's seriously cashing in. It's only an 8-minute video, so you would figure they would get to the point right away on this warp drive Starship that Elon Musk has announced or rolled out. Oh, you haven't heard about that, by the way? Like I say, are you missing out? You better click on it, or I guess I'll click on it, and let's watch it together.
Would you like to go on a trip to Mars?
All right out of the gate, this video's off to a pretty amazing start. Would you like to go on a trip to Mars? If you've clicked on this thing, it's like, yeah, me. How about me first? Hell, that's going to hook people right off the bat. Oh, and there's something else as well. You'll notice the guy has an accent, a British accent. Oh, wait. It might be an Australian accent. We can't tell the difference. It just sounds cool. So you want to make it? You want to make it as a content creator, huh? You want to make it as a SpaceX content creator? Well, I got news for you. You know how you're going to do that? 3 words: clickbait, content, plus 2 more words: British commentary.
While that sounds interesting, the time the journey takes will discourage many. Using current rockets, the shortest time to get to the red planet is 5 months.
Thought it was
You'll
6
have to
months.
target a small window that comes once every 2 years. While this piece of information might not mean anything to most people, for Elon Musk it means the failure or success of one of his passionate dreams, setting up people to live permanently on Mars. To make the travel to the planet more bearable, one of the options Musk is considering is warp drive, which promises to reduce the trip time by a large order of magnitude. What is warp drive and how fast can it help Musk put people on
Is he
Mars?
talking about warp
Join
drive
us
on The
as we
Tonight
dive into
Show?
how Musk reveals the warp drive Starship.
Oh, yeah.
Musk has been pushing SpaceX to speed up the development of the Starship. He even asked his engineers to sacrifice their Thanksgiving weekend to fix a problem on the Raptor.
Okay, now wait a minute. We're talking about Thanksgiving weekends, and we're seeing shots from Boca Chica Gal and stuff. Oh, and we're going to see a lot of this sort of thing, actually. This guy uses animations from my friend Seabass, also uses animations from SpaceX Vision, uses that all the way through, and doesn't give them any credit in the description or anything like that. Instead, what he does is lists out all of the legal details of the fair use policy from YouTube. Once you upload content to YouTube, that is fair game, as long as it doesn't include some sort of copyrighted song or something along those lines. You can make use of anybody else's content, including animators' work that they've worked for God knows how long on creating, and you are essentially copyright claim proof. And yeah, people can throw a copyright claim on you, but you can dispute it as fair use material being used for educational purposes, and you're off scot-free. So yeah, word for you content creators, those animators out there, use whatever you want, baby. You can get away with it. So don't even bother building any sort of relationships with those people. Waste of time. We've got to make money. Let's keep it going. All right, so we're going to skip a little bit because it looks like they just keep talking like there's Falcon 9 and how he wants to have a colony of 1 million people on Mars. We know about all that. Okay, let's go about halfway through the video. Let's see where we are with minute 4. We got to be talking about it then. So around minute 4, let's go.
Have to consider when going to Mars: time. Apart from astronomical costs, distance is another barrier to deep space jaunt.
Okay, still talking about 5 months to get to. Okay, still talking about 5 months to get to Mars. Halfway through the video, we're still not talking about this warp drive Starship. What's the deal here? Let's go ahead and skip to minute 5.
Physical and mental chances of something going wrong. The best thing is to spend as little time in space as possible. Also, what would it look like being cooped up in the confines of a spacecraft with more than 90 strangers? Tempers will flare and fights can even break out. In fact, Musk recognizes this and wants to cut down the trip to Mars to a month or even less.
Okay, so we're
This
at
is
minute
where
5
a
now,
very
and we're
powerful
still talking
spacecraft
about
that
why
moves
you need a
fast
warp
comes
drive.
in.
We've only got
Although
3 minutes
Musk
left in the
already
damn
has the
video,
Starship
and we're
with
still
Rapid
not talking
Hazard, which is the
about
most
the
powerful
warp
rocket
drive
ever built,
Starship.
with the ability to launch
Let's go
more than
to
100
minute
tons of cargo
6.
to orbit, and it took to Twitter to ask Musk to stop messing around with mundane stuff.
Okay, now here they're starting to
rockets,
talk about
Hyperloop electric trucks, and even Neuralink, and instead concentrate his effort on developing warp drive. While deGrasse's request was made in jest, Musk's response was interesting and shows he knows how best to apply the tech. He responded that setting up a city on Mars and regularly commuting between Earth and Mars will be a powerful driving force for inventing warp drive. Musk has repeated his claim that a Mars settlement will spur the development of warp drive technology in interviews. Now, how does warp drive work?
All right. So we have finally reached minute 6 and 33 seconds. So we have less than 2 minutes left in the video until we finally got to the basics of warp drive. And by the way, all we're going to do now for the rest of the video is talk about Alcubierre. So the Alcubierre warp drive, folding space, that sort of thing. A lot of you guys are probably very familiar with it. By the way, Elon Musk does not subscribe to the whole concept. He's talked about how much energy it would require, all of the new types of negative energy, that sort of thing that we would need to master before we could even attempt something like this. We haven't even really created negative energy yet. So many enormous barriers, and he's flat out said that it's not even realistically possible. And this is a recurring theme in all of these videos. It's not just enough to watch it. You have to actually watch it long enough in order to take advantage of all of the ads that are in the course of the video, in order to take advantage of those sweet views and those sweet ad revenue bonuses. So, the longer somebody watches, the more money you're going to make. So the key, of course, is to go ahead and make the viewer endure 75% of the video before you really come to the point, and only then get them with the topic, and incidentally also disappoint them. So you would think with something like this that you're going to have a lot of angry people. I mean, you got 1 million views on this thing, okay? And only 19,000 likes, which is a pathetic ratio, by the way. 1 million views, you should have at least 50,000 likes or more. So you would think that there would be tons of negative comments. There's got to be tons of trolls really pissed off about this. Oh no, 23 comments. 23 comments. How's that possible? I mean, where's all the trolls? Where's all the pissed off people and people saying clickbait and all? You would think that somebody went through all the comments and deleted all the negative ones. You would think maybe there's an app for that. Well, there is. Well, oh, no, that's not what's going on. No, I see what's happening here. This is such a shocking thing. This thing that just happened is so shocking that it leaves everybody speechless. Even the trolls are incapable of making any sort of negative comment. They get kind of like troll carpal tunnel. Yeah, it's like, no, this is bull crap. I'm gonna say something. Oh, ow. That's it, baby. That's what's really happening here. Let's check out another video just to be sure. Okay, now it's time to get a little scary, guys, because we're gonna check out NASA and Elon Musk. Of course, they're always working together on discovering things. Just made a terrifying discovery on Mars that changes everything.
This is because there is a massive discovery.
I guess there's got to be an introduction, right?
That will affect his Mars colonization plans. What has NASA discovered on Mars? How will NASA's discovery affect Musk's plans? Join us as we explore how NASA just made a massive discovery on Mars that will change everything on Musk's plans.
Okay, so it's not terrifying, it's just massive. Well, massive is still exciting.
At NASA and SpaceX are pursuing the same goal of landing humans on planet Mars. However, the scale and timelines the two entities are working with are different. NASA wants to send a couple of astronauts to Mars in the 2030s, whereas Musk would rather dispatch much more people off to the Red Planet, if possible, tomorrow. However,
Okay,
Musk
we're almost a
should
minute
pay
into it.
attention
Things
to
aren't
recent
getting really
findings made by
scary
NASA
yet.
on Mars,
We're just
because they
talking about
directly
all the
affect
same
his
crap that we
plans.
talked about in the other
Mars is an
video.
interesting planet in NASA's
Let's
mix
go
of wonders
ahead
efforts
and skip to,
studied over the years. The
what?
space agency has sent a
Minute
total of 5
two,
rovers to
almost
Mars,
minute two. We're looking
including
at
Sojourner,
Curiosity?
Spirit, Opportunity, Curiosity, and Perseverance. This has broadened our knowledge of the planet, but the more sophisticated NASA's rovers have become, the more it becomes clear that there is a lot more to learn about the planet. Of the 5 rovers, only 2 NASA rovers remain.
Okay, so now we're talking about Curiosity. Did Curiosity make this discovery? Well, yeah, it did actually, as you're going to find out much later in the video. And so Elon Musk didn't have anything to do with this discovery then, did he? Because the Curiosity team at the time, when they landed on Mars, they wanted to make it very clear that they were
better than SpaceX, and we ain't afraid to show it.
So that being the case, what does Elon Musk have to do with this? Oh, wait a minute. I know what must have happened. You see, Elon, what he does when people diss him is he just goes out and buys their company. So he probably went out and bought JPL and fired all of those sons of... And so as a result, now we have the JPL and Elon Musk working together to make this gigantic discovery. Let's keep watching.
Problems, the long travel time to get there, and many more. And it doesn't even have the technology to bring them back home yet. However, rovers allow NASA to explore Mars at a relatively lower cost and at no risk to humans. Curiosity arrived on Mars in 2012 as part of NASA's Mars Science Laboratory MSL mission. The rover still holds the record for the largest rover ever built in terms of size.
Okay, we're about a quarter of the way through the video now, and all we're doing is talking about the basics of Curiosity. Nothing about the discovery yet. Let's go to 3.5 minutes in.
Proportioned to an we understand it, so scientists think Martian
so
life
3:30.
could have been sustained by substances such as organic carbon. So,
okay. Now I know what they're talking about.
Evidence of life on Mars.
Now I know what they're talking about. The recent discovery, the Curiosity made the discovery of a large amount of carbon-12 atoms, suggests that there's going to be the presence of life. That this type of carbon tends to only exist as a result of the biological activity. So more evidence that there might be life on Mars. This was a discovery that was made some time ago, a couple of months. It hit the news wires. It has nothing to do with Elon Musk, nor does it strike me as being particularly terrifying, but at least it's true, I guess.
C12 has 6 neutrons, C13 has 7 neutrons, and C14 boasts 8 neutrons. C12 is the most common carbon isotope in life. It is in photosynthesis or metabolizing food.
Oh my God, how long are we going to take to get to the point on this?
Meaning that when it bonds with other atoms into molecules, it makes fewer
So, I mean, here's the thing. We've gotten about halfway through it, and now, I mean, I have to admit, they kind of broke their own rules on this one because they talked about the discovery less than halfway through the video. So now, anybody who really knows anything about space exploration knows that this particular discovery, these carbon-12 atoms and the abundance of them on Mars, again, suggests the presence of life, or at least that's a possibility. One of a number of possibilities. It's certainly not the most compelling piece of evidence that we've ever found for life on Mars, but guess what? It's there. At least, it's a real discovery. But did Elon have anything to do with it? No, absolutely not. And is it really terrifying? Well, I guess maybe if it could theoretically create a disease sometime in the future or something, maybe that's terrifying, but not really all that terrifying. And this is just a recurring theme, as I've said, through all of these videos. It's even worse when you're talking about when Starship is likely to launch, when Starship is going to go to orbit. Every single time Elon makes some kind of announcement saying it might go November, December, whatever, it comes out, it happened, Starship going to orbit this month, this week, whatever, over and over and over again. As a matter of fact, they just came out with another one a few hours ago saying, it happened, Starship finally going to orbit in December. And people keep falling for it. People keep clicking on it in droves, far more clicks than I get, than What About It gets, than most spaceflight commentators get. And what's the point? What am I trying to say here? Well, it's very clear that the YouTube algorithm recognizes that the more dramatic people make their titles, the more they use Elon Musk in their titles, and the more outrageous their titles might be, the more likely people are going to click on them, and the more views they're going to get, the more their advertisers are going to get happy, and the more the content creators are going to be happy because of all of the cash that they're raking in. And we're talking a lot of money here. And people are going to be sitting real pretty. These content creators are going to be sitting on a whole wad of cash. And of course, they eliminate all the negative comments. And yeah, they get a lot of flack, I'm sure. They don't have a whole lot of respect. A lot of people really complain, get really agitated about what they're doing, yell, scream, him and haw over the whole thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you saying something? I can see your lips moving, but, I can't hear you inside my brand new McLaren. I got the updated package with a real nice climate control system, the really cool sound system. Really helps me to kind of sit and think for a while and kind of block out all the static that you poor people send my way. Yeah, it's nice being a SpaceX content creator, isn't it? So what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that if you are a SpaceX fan, you really need to be more selective about what you look at. The more outrageous the title is, the more likely it is that it's completely full of shit and you need to skip over it. I mean, I often say that everything on social media is fake. Everything. Which is why I do my very best to support what I have to say with scholarly articles, other things that have nothing to do with social media. But nevertheless, you need to be very, very cautious about anything you see on social media. And every time you click on these sorts of things, it adds to YouTube's bad habit of recommending these videos to other people. The more attention these people get, the more people are going to click on them, and the more YouTube is going to recommend channels like this instead of realistic channels, instead of responsible channels, the channels who actually bring you the facts. The facts might not be as exciting, but at least they're real, which is a hell of a lot more than I can say for channels like this. Please please subscribe. Once again, sorry to continue being such a pain, and I really meant it now. I'm not going to use that annoying clip anymore to try to get more subs. I'm really done with that. So in the meantime, guys, as always, stay angry about space.